Industry, trade and investment is key to development for any nation. We're asking the question, how has this ministry fared in the past 1 year? Doris Uzoka Anite is the Honorable Minister of this ministry. She joins us live in the studio. We know it's been a long day. Thank you for coming. So we're going to make it brief, right?
Thank you.
Have you seen your report card?
Not yet.
So you've been talking about this $30 billion investment commitment in 1 year. Where did it come from and where's the money?
Thank you for having me in the studio and glad to be here.
We're here now, so you can look at us.
First year anniversary of Mr. President.
Indeed.
30 billion commitments from all over the world, especially from India. India committed about 16 billion, 8 billion from Indorama, 1.5 billion has come in. That commitment came in for the building of their fertilizer expansion. We've given them the license for their free zone to be able to build and to export more. And you know the commitment is over a period of 8 years. So when you hear commitments, usually it's over a period. So this is what they will say, that they will come in to invest over a period until the factory is fully built up and they're ready to export or they're ready to sell to the market.
So many of these commitments would take time before Nigerians can begin to feel its impact, right?
Not really, not necessarily. In the case of Indorama and some of the companies within the free zone, they're already here, situated. So now the commitment is an expansion plan for these companies. We even have local industries like Maersk, MBC, Coca-Cola, and Unilever, all of them committing to expand their investments in Nigeria. They're already here. So with that commitment, it means that they can hire more people immediately, even if it's in the construction. You see, you're building a fertilizer plant, for example, you're going to be building, hiring welders, construction. So you're going to see a massive boost of jobs. That is already ongoing. So, but then it's eventually when it's completed, you then start hiring administrative staff and the other white collar staff. But immediately, what you see is a boom in job creation.
What's in for? Sorry, Femi, I know you want to.
Go ahead.
What's in here for Nigerians? Are we monitoring the modality? You know, when foreigners come to kickstart businesses here, how do we ensure that it really benefits our people and they don't take advantage of us?
There is no money that comes in that won't benefit our people.
I'm talking about employment basis now, for instance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most expatriates won't come in with the full cohort. We have cheaper labor here. That alone is a major attraction for investment. We're going to South Korea next week. Our major purpose for going is to speak to the South Koreans who are already doing a lot of trading businesses here. We use Samsung, we use Hyundai cars, Kia, we use LG. A lot of their products are being used there. And we want them to come and invest in building their assembly plants here because this is where their market really is. So the benefits to Nigerians is immediate. You have a savings in your FX. So there's import substitution and there's also earning from exporting some of these products because we're also taking advantage of our dominance in the West African trade corridor, as well as our ascension into the African continental free trade area. Making Nigeria's manufacturing a low-cost manufacturing is my priority. We must be the manufacturing hub for, if not the whole of Africa, but at least for West Africa. Yeah. So the impact is immediate. We see it and we benefit immediately from it.
Yes, Honorable Minister, you said India has already shown about $16 billion investment. Now my question is, what sectors are generating or are getting the most interests?
So far, I think it's been more in the oil and gas and petrochemical and steel, also steel sector. We've seen a lot of interest also for steel, and then general manufacturing, and then IT. You know, the ITs, they usually come into incubation hubs, so they come in when there's a capital call. We think that we can actually mobilize a whole lot, through IT. We're going to sign an MOU in China for $10 billion equivalent. That's almost about 9 billion euros for green hydrogen. And that's one area of investment that's coming in. So when you pull all of this, you see that why we're telling you 30 billion. It's actually much more than that. There are some investment commitments that have come in chunk, that because I am not yet finished my due diligence on them, I can't even begin to announce them. But the ones that are here that I know we are there to sign MOUs, I can see that the expansion plan is clear. And some of these are already existing industries. Those are the ones that we are mentioning. Modalities for tracking. These companies are here. They come to us with the NIPC, the Nigerian Investment Promotion Council. Usually, we have the one-stop shop. So they usually come in for some of the incentives that we've promised them. And so this is how we can actually track and monitor some of the things that they're doing. But we're not stopping there. So now, for us to even monitor the job creation that these industries are promising Nigerians, well, that's the reason why we actually built the Renewed Hope Job Center. So that we have told all of them coming in, both the new ones, the startups, the old existing ones who are expanding, or those who are losing staff or need to have staff replacement, place your job vacancies on this platform. Let Nigerians know that these jobs are actually being created by this administration, and let them take advantage, because if the enabling environment wasn't laid out by the president, we wouldn't even have the investment opportunities that are coming in. He opened up the investment opportunities and said, hey, whole world, come in and invest. So now, so far, we just started the pilot. We've hired 4,000 people placed across different industries. Now imagine when we really roll it out nationwide, the number of jobs that we can actually match, that we can actually showcase to Nigerians that we've created.
Absolutely.
And so this is why what we're doing to track that investment opportunity. And of course, in terms of the economic benefits, you're going to see that. You're going to see a whole lot of price reduction because there's more competition in the market. You're going to see FX growing, either because we're not utilizing FX to import what we are building or what we are manufacturing, or because we are actually exporting and earning FX revenue from our exports.
Yeah, Honorable Minister, you talked about President Bola Tinubu's administration creating that enabling environment, the ease of doing business. I've listened to President Bola Tinubu when he was in Netherlands, when he was in Germany, even in Saudi Arabia. He told these foreign investors that he's going to remove all bottlenecks in the way of their investment. Now tell us, what are some of these bottlenecks that the president has been able to eliminate so far in 1 year?
So we look at soft infrastructure. Then you now talk about hard infrastructure. But most of the bottlenecks are usually in the soft infrastructure. The delay in processing licenses, in giving you authorization to proceed, processing even visa to come in. Last week at FEC, the president inaugurated a 3-man committee with myself and the Minister of Interior to unlock that bottleneck itself. Make sure that we can now, visitors can apply.
48 hours?
Even less than 48 hours. And some people can even come in visa-free. Why can't we even give visa-free opportunities to especially certain investors that we know are coming here for genuine businesses? That's a bottleneck that we're removing. With so many bottlenecks. In my ministry alone, we are processing, checking again the process for exports. Is it really working? Can we remove some of these bottlenecks in trade facilitation? Just imagine, by having the one-stop shop for exports, and we are bringing in all agencies in one place to certify our goods for export and issue the documentation. You've removed at least 30 days of wait time for an exporter, and plus the antecedent costs and all of that. And you package everything, we make sure that it's standardized. You've also reduced the export rejection that would have come if that facility wasn't there. We are about to flag off our one-stop shop. Within 3 months, we'll start. So we are systematic in how we are addressing those bottlenecks. And like I said, I mean, there's so many in different ministries and agencies that you go in. The mandate is there to make sure that the foreign investors or the investments are protected. See what the CBN is doing. That's a major bottleneck and red tape that he's removed. Making sure that the FX subsidy is removed. There's one single rate for FX. He's cleared the backlog, improving investor confidence, and showcasing to investors. Yesterday we were with some investors that came to see His Excellency, and they told His Excellency that we are so happy because now we have even been able to remit some dividend back home. We are now showing to our investors that repatriation is possible. Yeah. Repatriation was never stopped. There were some market structures that were difficult, that were removed by this president. So there's so many more that we can highlight.
What update do we have now on the MOU signed to outsource about 50,000 jobs from the US?
Oh, yeah. So that one, we signed the MOU. So we have started certifying the business processes, the business offices that we house the outsourced jobs across different areas in the country. But we decided, okay, let's start with some pilot states Port Harcourt, Kano, Kaduna, Lagos State, Imo State. We find out some of those centers that are ready. So you have to start with the pilot and then we begin. And then looking for the talent itself. We have the website is open. A lot of people have applied. So you now find out what is their skill level and what is the skill gap that they have and what sort of training that they need to meet up with the requirement of the job. So that is ongoing and people have started applying. We started certifying the BPO centers and they're ready to go.
Is there a time frame to this?
Oh, within 5 years.
Within 5 years?
Within 5 years, all those jobs. So it's a gradual, we are building, it's a green area for us as well. We're a startup in the BPO business in Nigeria. So you need to kind of incubate it. Some businesses have done it successfully. We're also learning their models and seeing how to replicate the same thing nationally.
And we hear you're planning an investment summit, right?
Yes, we are.
How soon will that be and what's the modality?
September ending, we're planning. And we would communicate the exact date. And so that investment summit is going to be a major activity for this administration.
Will it be here in Nigeria?
Oh yes, in Nigeria here. We haven't decided what location would be because we also need to make sure that it's convenient for all parties. We're expecting investors across different sectors of the economy from different countries, fund managers, the funders, those providing the investment opportunities, companies themselves who are ready to take up investment. So it's going to be a major 2-3 days affair.
Indeed.
We will have the deal room where we see deals being made. We'll also have opportunities for our SMEs to showcase what they're doing. We have meeting rooms for us to meet with these investors, answer their questions. So we are defining the modalities, and once it's ready, we will be communicating that to everyone. So all I can say is keep your September free and get ready. Nigeria is open for business.
$3.5 million. That's what you said the federal government has invested, right?
No, we've attracted.
No, I'm talking about the textile and apparel industry.
Yes.
Yeah, but are you concerned about importation of fabrics?
No, we're not.
Does it affect anything?
No. Well,
because even the local fabrics we hear are not manufactured here in Nigeria. Many of them.
No, they're not. Our textile factories have all closed down. It's not a good thing. It's been closed for a number of years. The gineries in the north are not working. The cotton farmers have stopped farming. They don't have access to the right seeds to farm, the right technology. And most of our factories, the textile factories, have old equipment. And for us to compete, we must revamp the whole sector. And so luckily we have 3.5 billion right now on our, it's not that it's coming, it's here. So we're just finalizing the modalities to sign a multi-party MOU with the federal government, the state government, the cotton farmers, the textile association, providers of fund, and then define the modalities and the policies that will come with this. The money is ready. Most of it is coming from Afrexim Bank and their private partner, Arise IIP. That money is ready to catalyze the whole value chain. And then we know it's not enough. What we actually need in that sector is about $9 to $10 billion. But 3.5 is an anchor investment that has come in. And so now we will now open up to have more investment coming. And there's a lot of investors already, even among the domestic investors who are waiting and ready, invested a lot in the cotton and the CTG, cotton textile and garment industry, to take advantage of the policy that we are going to come up with, that we will announce to Nigerians to also see how to key into this vision. It's a holistic plan that will take into consideration everyone. And what is the end product? We will start exporting. So we can now attract the real retail chains, the sports chains, everything. So we can now export our own made in Nigerian fabrics, made here, from cotton to fashion. So farm to fashion, that's what we tagged it. Farm to fashion. When you farm, and that also includes the leather industry for the shoe apparel, the handbags. We have lots of clusters. The area market, they are known for shoes.
It sounds good.
Yeah, so, but your question really is around importation.
Yes.
When this is stable and is stabilized, then we can now take a look at why we're importing.
There's a question of when.
Oh, yes. It's right now we're signing the MOU.
Okay.
It takes a while. We think that within 24 months, the entire sector will be catalyzed because we need to build the industries, we need to farm, we need to get everybody ready and equipped, even the pesticides to use. The Ministry of Agriculture is also involved with training of extension workers. So it's a multi-party engagement. And we think that within 24 months, we can now begin to show. And like I was saying, once you produce, your cost is cheap and effective, there's no need to import, really. So that would take care of that importation question that you asked about.
For some investors now, both domestic and foreign, who are already in Nigeria doing business, maybe setting up factories and all of that, some of them might need to carry out some kind of maintenance on equipment or buy new equipment, and they will need Forex. How accessible, what kind of access to Forex do they have, and what's the ministry doing to ensure that it's made easier for this category of people?
So for Forex, everything is wholly within the control of the central bank. They control the monetary policy. Where the Ministry of Investment, Trade, Industry, Trade and Investment come in is to ensure that the Forex is even available. It's the activities of the exporters that bring in the Forex. And if you notice what we're doing now is streamlining the exports process. We are streamlining the exports process for oil and gas to ensure that whatever you export, you actually repatriate it back. And so we are automating that whole sector to make sure there's even availability of FX. We're doing the same thing in the non-oil export to ensure that when you also export, you're bringing it back. And we're working in collaboration with the central bank and other agencies, customs, NEPC, everybody coming in together to ensure that that process works. That's to bring in FX. Now, on the other area of availability, now that's what the central bank is ensuring, that the banks make sure that selling to manufacturers is an open market. Buyer, seller matching themselves and picking up. So they're doing a whole lot of job. We've seen the work that they're doing in that regard. Then the third part is in the encouragement of imports for machinery, for production. And that's why we're giving the import duty exemption certificate. So for anybody who's importing machinery for production, they come to us, we issue them the IDEC. IDEC is short form for Import Duty Exemption Certificate, that will make a recommendation to the Ministry of Finance to drop the duties on importation of machinery. So it's at 0%. So any machinery you're bringing in is at 0% duty, because we know it's for productive purpose. We'll make the money back when you start to pay us VAT. VAT is value added tax. So, but it's not a problem. All of those things are part of the incentives that the government has in promoting industrialization.
Okay, it's 1 year of the Bola Tinubu administration, and we know the mantra for that administration, renewed hope. Why should Nigerians keep hopes alive and keep faith in this administration?
First of all, hope is the currency or the lifeblood of every human being. If you don't have hope of what you're going to do, even in the next 5-10 minutes, you're probably going to lose hope in living. Faith in the administration is a no-brainer. Your leader is your leader. Your president is your president. This administration is the driver of the growth that it has promised to give to you. You must keep faith with them. You must have hope that the leaders will do what they said they would do. And that's why I'm here in your studio telling you what I've been doing. Every other minister has spoken at some point about what they've been doing. You see and you track what we're doing. We are open to feedback. We receive feedback also from the citizens and say, okay, this is what the pinpoint is for us. We look at how we can make that pinpoint work, how we can reduce the pinpoint so that we can move forward. Right. That's why we're coming up with so many policies. They must have hope in their leader. They must pray for our president and for the administration so we can think right, so we can work well. And they must cooperate with us. They must support us. At this point, let me even talk again. Last time I was in your studio, I know I mentioned and I called out the role of press, the role of social media. It's not the press that's in social media, but this is about time that Nigerians begin to also promote their own country. I have never seen any other country where their citizens are abusing their country. When the investors want to come in and they go to social media and they see comments, negative comments, or they go to your newspaper headlines and they see negative comments, they're not going to come in.
Because you're driving a nexus between the image of the country and the potential businesses that can come in. I hear you carefully, but I wanted to quickly touch on, before we let you go, touch on price monitoring drive, because I know you mentioned about the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission with inflation comes the need to pay attention to this. So what are we doing in this regard?
Okay, so if you check the components of what makes up that price that you see in the market, you see production cost, human resource, there's fixed cost, variable cost, plus other costs that you didn't even anticipate that will come in. So those are standard costs that you put into your business. But some businessmen take advantage of whatever they find in the environment, especially when there's no regulation, to price gouge. So when their cost is, say, 100 naira, they claim that their cost is 500 naira, pass that over to consumers. That's criminal. So instead of paying for what you're buying at 100 naira, you're paying at 600 naira. It's criminal. And the role of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission is to ensure that those criminal activities do not happen. It's their mandate, consumer protection. Protect consumers both in terms of quality and value, and also value is where price is. Am I paying the right price for the right quality? You must protect your consumers. So the price monitoring app is to give the consumers an opportunity to self-report prices that they're seeing in the market, so that other consumers can participate in checking some of these price gouging practices of some manufacturers. Now, talking about inflation, so when I talked about cost of production, that is where government is now playing another role, in addition to also ensuring that the traders, the marketers are selling at the right price. What is government doing to support manufacturing to produce at a cheaper cost? This is where the CNG initiative of Mr. President comes in. If you can transport your good at a cost that is right, your price will not go high. I gave an example of a basket of onions, even vegetables in the north, is 5 times more cheaper than what it is in the south. It's 10,000 naira in Kano, 70,000 naira in Enugu, and in Lagos State. It's in the market, so there is no other production that is going, production cost of input going in. So it's already in the market. Just to lift it from here to here, the difference is in transportation. When you ask the transporters, they'll tell you, oh, diesel is at this price, is at that price. But the CNG is 5 to 6 times cheaper than the, and CNG is now being priced in naira. It's cheaper than diesel that is indexed at the dollar rate, and also subject to availability of FX. So now we are pushing now, working with the major associations, the financiers, to push to see how we can convert all trucks, all trailers, all commercial vehicles that are moving goods from one place to another. An average cost of moving goods from Kano to Lagos State is between 1.6 million to 2 million naira, depending on where you're moving it from. How much quantity of onions or tomatoes will you put in that truck that will give you 2 million naira? So by the time you put your potatoes, your tomatoes, that's probably the total value is about 500,000 naira. And to make up to the 2 million that you're paying plus your profit margin is the reason why the cost is going up. If you can drop that cost of transportation, you see that inflation will start, food inflation will start coming down. Then on the productive side, the manufacturing side, we're now going towards, encouraging those in clusters to have distributed power using CNG. So everybody now uses their diesel generating sets. Convert your diesel generating sets to gas. It's cheaper. It's 5-6 times cheaper. Or instead of even buying your own gas, have one power company that is providing you power within your cluster. He buys the same gas that you're buying, the same quantity, but because it's distributed power, it's also distributed cost. So you are not even reducing your cost far below, maybe another 5-6 times again, below what you would have been incurring if you were producing your own power yourself. Now we're championing that drive, and you're going to see us rolling out this initiative across all industrial clusters to ensure that we reduce the cost of production and the cost of logistics. And that is one thing that we can assure Nigerians will definitely reduce the inflation that we are seeing.
Absolutely.
You pay the same price to move your raw materials to your factory. Pay the same price to move the same finished product from your factory. So you're paying that increased transportation cost 2 to 3 times. Even your workers are paying excessive transport fares to come to work. So everything you carry from construction, from the cement, the iron rod, the chippings, everything is priced at this high because of the dependence on diesel. So if we begin now to convert and encourage people to convert to CNG and try to enforce it, you see that the cost of things that we buy in the market.
The nationwide deployment began today. The onus still lies on government also to ensure that the conversion workshops, are established across the country to encourage participation. We understand that the private sector is warming up to the initiative, and hopefully we'll get some good news by the end of the year. But a lot has been said about, okay, we have to round up now. A lot has been said about this administration's commitment to diversify the economy. In a minute, can you talk about the update with NATEP and how this initiative will help?
Okay, so to diversify the economy, so it's making sure diversification of the economy just means you're removing dependency on oil exports to non-oil exports. Now, the service area, the service export is one area that we are now actually trying to develop. Well, we're coming up with initiatives with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council on service exports for everything, including your entertainment, music. But for NATEP especially, we talked about earlier on the 50,000 jobs MOU that was signed. That's one of the initiatives from NATEP. The other side is where we have a lot of people, talented people, but can also help to work in other countries so that they can earn FX and repatriate FX. So the humans themselves are repatriating FX, and the businesses themselves are also helping to help us to generate FX, additional FX. So the service sector, I think, services export is one area of boom that we're going to see, and we're developing the framework for that.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Doris Uzoka Anite is Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
And looking forward to so much more improvement in that sector.
Thank you.